pistol round. Actually seeing a really slow setup over towards A. 4 players stacked up. They don't want to show themselves over towards the fountain. They've got that single player over towards B, just trying to make a bit of noise. Maybe pull a rotation, maybe just bide out the time while his teammates are swarming that long area. They're going to be able to get quite close as well before they're spotted by Gade.
He's got this USPS at the ready. Of course, Pleasant with the P250 in hand isn't a massive disadvantage when you're facing off against AC. The previously boosted man is having a bit of a jolly there before the peaks come through. I don't think he was necessarily expecting the bad timing, but kind of did that one to himself. 3 versus 2 as North do shut away this pistol quite nicely, leaving only my favorite name in Counter-Strike, Freddy Frog, remaining in a 1 versus 3.
Wow, his position's somewhat unknown, but they're closing in from all angles. They're aware that he could be in long. Absolutely anticipating it. He has managed to wriggle his way out, but he has to fight from multiple angles. There's no way he finds anything here. Cajun B is going to rip his head clean off. And as you say, North rather comfortably take that pistol round. 3 players staying alive. An incredible play there from Gade as well with that USP. Just trapped in that corner. His teammate falls, and 2 nice headshots to fight his way out of that one and level out the numbers once again.
The one thing that I don't understand about Freddy Frog is he could have shortened his name to either Freddy or Frog. He would have been the only Freddy and the only Frog in Counter-Strike, but he decided, no, I'm going to stick with Freddy Frog.
I like it. I like it. Bit of alliteration. I think it's cool. I think he should stick with it. This aggression, though. Ooh. Well, they are going to get away with it. A couple of nice kills with those MP9s as well. That's free money, Squid. It's free money. They're going to be rolling in it.
Everybody likes a little bit of free money. And here in the second round, you want to be forcing those engagements with the MP9s to just build that cash. CMSL gets a bonus $600. Occasion B likewise. And with the smokes placed, it cuts up a lot of map control that Galaxy Racer can utilize towards this bomb site. And AZ already coming through with the knife. Tabs had no idea that that one was happening. And it's a little bit of a momentum breaker for Galaxy Racer. I don't know if they'll check this angle that Cajun B has cleverly burrowed his way in. There are so many pivotity angles that you have to check. And Cajun B able to strike and pounce for those last 2 kills. North up to 2-0 right now. A pretty clean round, all things considered.
Absolutely. It's round number 3. They're having a bit too much fun. We've seen a knife kill. We've seen AZ's dance moves. They're happy. They're confident here on Overpass. And of course, with that 3K from Cajun B, he's going to have tons of money in the bank. He's actually going to use it to drop an AWP over towards MSL. He's going to stick with that MP9. They know they're against an eco, of course. So another opportunity to rake up some cash with these automatic weapons. Massive jump there as well from MSL. Gives him a nice angle. I don't think it'll be too utilized this round, of course. They are literally just against the Glocks. Single deagle on Pleasant.
And the P250 Supernova, of course. We can't forget them.
Old school skin.
Very old. Is that from the original case? I'm not sure if it is. What was the original case? Wasn't it just called CSGO case?
Yeah, I think so. And then they had like a case 2 that had pistols in it.
They didn't even name their cases back in the day. Feel like my grandparents back in the good old days. We didn't even need to name our cases. Now you have to call it. Now you have to call it Wildfire case and Hydra case. We just had CS:GO weapon case.
Otherwise, people get confused. I think there's probably 30 cases or something.
There's even more than that, I think. And if you go to Hellcase, if that's not enough for you, you can go to Hellcase and take advantage of, like, what is it, 150 cases or something mad?
That's even more mad, right? It's an eco, so it's rather insignificant. But MSL just got an ace with that AWP, Squid. An ace!
And we missed it. I was talking about my grandparents and case. Maybe I am a bit of a case. We're starting off strong today, M&J. We're starting off strong in this quarterfinal. I'm excited.
Absolutely. Well, we now come into the bye round. I think this is cause for some conversation, of course. The AKs, full utility on everybody as well, and with North not losing any players last round, they're going for the bonus. There's still a couple of SMGs in play, but the boost comes through. Gade's going to be able to find himself one, and that's an AK retrieved as well. Oh my goodness, MSL. He's dancing around with this AWP. Look how aggressive he's got there. You never see an AWP push into B short like that. I absolutely love it.
Well, this is where things start to get a little more dangerous for Galaxy Racer. A couple of players down and now needing to attack this A site. Only one of the AKs salvaged and retrieved for North, but they still have tons and tons of firepower on this CT side. And with Freddy Frog encroaching, I don't know if Cajun B is able to spot him tucked away inside this peculiar angle towards long. And he finally gets a little more than he bargained for, as Relax is going to open up for 2 quick kills. There's the Molotov to finish him off before Pleasance able to strike in for another one. 3-0, and North might be about to lose their first as the bomb goes down on this A site. A retake's on the cards.
That really got flipped on its head there. They had that man advantage. They had the site, of course. This utility usage is fantastic, though, from North to flush these Ts out of their positions. Due to where the bomb's planted, they can't fall right back to toilets either. They have to stay up close. They have to take these fights. North are running out of time. Both with the kit in hand, still some utility to work with, but they need to find the frags, and Freddy Frog's the one to find the first. Hazy needs to fight his way out of this. Ooh, the spray transfer nearly comes through. But as you say, it's Galaxy Racer to take there first. Even the AWP being retrieved too. That's going to be thrown, I assume, over towards Relaxer. Yeah, okay, he's the man to wield it. Maybe an opportunity for them to string together some more here. But of course, North, they've got plenty of money in the bank. They went for those bonus SMG rounds, and now this is going to be their full buy. Rifles all round, the AWP on MSL, utility to spare. They have to win this one, though, or they will be down to that eco.
Trying to spray through for some preliminary damage, not finding all too much apart from the nade that connects onto Dezen. And this aggressive play might actually be punished. Yeah, Dezen's got his number. Easy headshot to find onto AZ, not checking his corners there. And with the smoke placed, you'd have probably expected him to give it a little look. Doesn't exactly do that. That puts North on the back foot once more. And considering they had the slightly better buy going into this, of course, the AWP again on MSL. He's been a massive member, especially in that group stage that we saw just the other day. MSL actually pushing a lot of these wins over the top. Actually casted North over in Group D, where a couple of those games went very tight to the edge. Lots of 16-12s and 16-13s, and MSL just nicely pushing it over the top for North. He's going to have to be effective again. He's not always a big name that I really associate with his like massive fragging power. We're usually associating MSL with the brain power that he brings to the server and the coordination that he can mold into a team. But here, 30 seconds left. North seem to know that this one's coming through. All of the information for MSL granted through Connector. He's right behind the attack, and that's tons of damage for Lekro. MSL's going to pop open the squeaky door. It's easy shot to find, even goes for more, a little greedy perhaps, as with 10 seconds left, North have absolutely everybody on the defense here on the B bomb site. Galaxy Racer, they've been completely outmaneuvered. Relaxer probably has to save this AWP, and just about dives away.
Wow, that was a really interesting round from Galaxy Racer. I'm not quite sure why they played it so slow. They found that initial man advantage. They had tons of control around the map as well, but they just left it far too late. Of course, going for that final push with, 8 seconds left on the clock? There's no way you get out of that one. North have put all their eggs in one basket, had all the defense over towards that site, and, well, that's MSL's AWP base again that we saw earlier on against the Pistols. Real nice stuff to rack up his KD early on. Sits 8-3 here in round number 6. North are going for a timeout. This is it's an interesting one. What are they talking about here, Squid? It's round number 6. They've just come off the back of a round win. There's no AWP available.
Someone forgot to tweet out the match. That's what they're doing. They're quickly tweeting it out. getting those sponsor obligations going. I'm not sure. It's very early days, of course. This is a bit of a must-win round on the board, kind of for both sides, I guess, but especially Galaxy Racer, where they do have an opportunity of just slowing and shutting down North, considering the economy isn't that built up. So this is actually quite a pivot position for both teams, and especially considering Galaxy Racer have decided to go for the fairly full buy. It's a bit polarized with Pleasant, Dezen not going, a little bit of rhyming there, but not going for those buys, instead leaving it down to Freddy Frog. Of course, RACER saving with that AWP. It leaves your economy in a bit of a sticky situation, and I'm surprised that Freddy decides to invest so heavily into this one. Let's see if it works out.
Flash not doing a whole lot. The Mac 10 can't trade. They get completely shut to bed. And now the reinforcements are here to cut out any trade potential. Oh, there we go. Lecro gets the dink in. Surely this AWP's finished off in due time. And there we go. That is completely shut away. Tabs last alive here, 4 to find. And you're absolutely right in saying it's so bizarre. I'm trying to do some quick maths in my head, but it's all too overwhelming for me to work out. Because they've got 3 players that will be able to buy next round, and Freddy Frog and RACER, of course, just won't be able to. So realistically, had they have ecoed that round and they just have Deagles all round, maybe a little bit of Kevlar here and there, then they would have the money for the investment here. But instead, there's only 3 players that can buy, 2 players that can't, and by the looks of things, they're going for a full investment. So we're going to have 3 AKs in play, and 2 players that I assume are just going to be down to these Deagles. It's a very, very bizarre one, and here we go. Here's the timeout.
Another one.
I don't get this. I don't get this at all. This is very odd.
Maybe they feel like the rounds are just slipping away from them, maybe a little too close, and felt like they had an opportunity and want to get the rounds on the board early before North get to those 8, 9, 10 rounds. Realistically, in Counter-Strike, it's a very momentum-based game, not just with how you're feeling on the server and if you connect with your shots, but also that economy factor. If North take a couple of convincing rounds in a row, then they're set for the majority of this first half, and we're likely going to see them get on to 11 rounds, 12 rounds, maybe even beyond, but those big double-digit score lines that we associate with Danish CT sides. Let's see if they can actually pull it together right now with the AWP on MSL fully bought up with M4A4s all around. And this is another force buy, a scrappy situation for Galaxy Racer where Freddy Frog's only stuck with a Deagle, wanting to get aggressive into water to find that first man. And RACER's only got a scout to play with. So he's in dire needs of these headshots or these AK-47s firing through for some significant damage. You see those paper-thin walls already taking care of AZ, down to 24 points of health. He's just a bullet away from death.
That's really the thing. This investment could potentially be sufficient. Yeah, there's enough firepower here that it can work, especially if people are connecting their shots. But in a scenario like this, I'd want RACER on the AWP, I'd want Freddy Frog on a rifle, just to maximize the chances of actually converting. And a minute's already ticked away on the clock. They're set up outside towards B. The bomb's been left behind. And they're just poking for some information, waiting for their opponents to make a mistake to deal some damage. Now I think the setup comes through, though. Oh.
That nade could have been effective. Doesn't quite blast onto AZ, who sat in the middle point of this site, but throws down the smokes as soon as he gets contact. Now he's harder to dig and unburrow out of the back of this site. As Galaxy Racer do look closer, it gives time for the rotate of Lecro to sweep in and find the first headshot. Lots more work to be done before the C4 goes down. And Galaxy Racer really haven't left them a lot of time on the clock. Only 10 seconds left in this bomb in no man's land. They need to grab it, find the frags, and do everything right now. Dezen's pulling his best attempt, but only 2 kills, and it's not good enough. Relax is going to run out of time yet again with only the scout. He's got no money, M&J. $0. He's got less money in his bank account than I have.
Wow, that is a mess. That is a mess. The economy's in pieces, and that is the absolute worst case scenario for that round to play out for them. Of course, it's round number 8 and an opportunity to talk about our partners over at Hellcase. Make sure you're using code MALTAV15 when you top up your balance for a nice 15% refill bonus. Jumping back to that last round, though, yeah, I think that's been a major issue for Galaxy Racer. They're running down the clock too low. They're trying to execute into this B site with seconds to spare, and they're not anticipating North's counter utility. And because North know what their opponents are doing, they're saving their smokes, they're saving their Molotovs. So when there's 20 seconds left on the clock, they deploy them, and Galaxy Racer are just locked out. That's exactly what we saw there. They're trying to push into a site with 10 seconds left, and there's a wall of smokes to separate them from actually getting this plant down. It's just impossible.
Awkward stuff. 6-1, and the opportunity for much more for North, as this is just pistols. Another really messy buy for Galaxy Racer. They've not got a good grasp of their economy whatsoever in the first 8. I think they're just trying to take the fight directly to North, and that's playing into the Danes' hands. MSL still with this angle, and as the bomb is going down, no opportunity to stop it, but right through these smokes, tremendous amount of damage has been dealt, leaving only Pleasant versus everybody in another clean round for the Danes. They're up to 7 and already putting together quite a master stroke on their CT side of Overpass. Galaxy Racer seemed completely stuck in the mud. I know that was just an eco, but planting that bomb, it's good enough. No kills. And mismanagement of the economy does seem to be mistake after mistake.
I'm just trying to work out where this AWP's come from, you know.
They magicked it up.
They magicked it. Maybe. Because Relaxer had no money. He was completely broke. Of course, they've got a bit of a loss bonus built up. They're not doing too well here, though. They need to start putting some rounds on the board. We talked in the pregame about the fact that this is a must-win map for Galaxy Racer. They certainly can't afford to get completely dominated on it. This is their strongest map of the pool. Against a side like North, you don't want to be allowing them to gain the momentum that they currently have. Look at this angle from MSL. My goodness, lightning fast. Puts a bullet in Deson's head through the corner of that wall. That's going to give them the man advantage early on.
I worked out where they got the AWP from. Basically, Freddy Frog isn't just the guy's alias. It's a magic spell. You basically say Freddy Frog like Beetlejuice, like 3 times in a row around a mirror, and then an AWP appears.
I'll have to give it a try then.
Low pitched hum as well. Got to get really low. Freddy Frog, Freddy Frog, Freddy Frog, Freddy Frog, and then it appears.
All right, I'll give it a go after this game.
I wonder. Oh, they are trying to get a boost up. I thought they were smooching for a second. Relaxer just looking into the A site and spotting out all of the jump peaks, but Cajun B wants to give him a little more. He's still going. Cross after cross to get all of this information. And it's a Gade to fall the same way as AZ in the previous rounds over by the B site. And this actually gives away this whole portion of the map. They can now rotate this bomb through. And I don't think that there's a lot that MSL can do. The nade takes him away down to fairly low HP. There's one back. 2 for the price of 1. But maybe it's time to save for North. I'm really not sure here. Another nade isn't going to connect. Of course, MSL did hit a tag a few moments ago, but no frag, and I think they do have to bail from B.
I think this is the right call. They've, of course, got money in the bank. They're going to get some extra cash at the end of this round as well, but it's not money that you want to be throwing away. There's still plenty of rounds left in this half. If this was perhaps round number 12, maybe even round number 11, you could say, yeah, do you know what? We can justify this. We'll go in, we'll try and get this retake, and we've got enough money to pad out the rest of the half. But of course, it's only round number 9, of course, and there's still a fair amount to play with, and they don't want to allow Galaxy Racer to close this gap and pull it back to something along the lines of an 8-7, maybe a 9-6. North have established this early lead. They've got a huge gap to work with, and they want to extend it further. They want to continue to assert their dominance on their opponent's map pick. Right now, well, Galaxy Racer, they've now got the tools to work with. This is something we haven't seen a whole lot of this half. We've seen a lot of mismatch buys. We've seen some SMGs. We've seen some pistols. Now we've got the rifles all round. The AWP on Relaxer. Their best opportunity to try and string some rounds together here. But with very little money in the bank, they need to make sure that they start doing so now.
And keeping the economy going for North is the best way to ensure this. Get maximum buy rounds into the rest of this half. Keep rifles in hand. As you said, that's something that Galaxy Racer hasn't been able to do. And it's realistically been their biggest problem on this T side. It's not really the entry frags or North closing them down with MSL Zorp. It has been that economic mismanagement. Once more, Tabs, who's had a pretty weak map, all things considered. 2-9. He's the first to fall once again, and there's nobody to trade him inside the connector. Pleasant is 10 seconds away, and it allows Cajun B to not just get out of connector, but all the way to the A bomb site before the trade can possibly even come through. There's no opportunity to bring this into a 4 versus 4. Instead, they're going to creep and crawl up to the A site, where North, they're just playing a passive defense and lying in wait. They still have MSL's AWP as the difference maker, the question mark, sat inside of this toilet's position, and they've got no idea. Nighty night to Freddy Frog as MSL puts him to bed.
Well, North still picking apart their opponents with 25 seconds on the clock. Galaxy Racer, they need to speed this one up. They're still not on the bomb site. The wall of smokes is there, but the spams are coming through, and Cajun B's found himself too, looking for the third as well. He's going to follow the tracers of that orb and Relaxer. There's no way out of this one. He's going to get flanked by Gade, and that's going to be the 8th on the board for North. They keep all 5 players alive as well. It works wonders for the economy. They're going to have enough money to buy up probably for the rest of this half. And once again, Galaxy Racer, they're beaten by the clock.
Absolutely. They're timing down this clock and every single opportunity, and absolutely not working out for them. North aren't making the early mistakes. They're not throwing that quick utility, which would be the advantage that Galaxy Racer can use and utilize in the last 15 to 20 seconds. MSL has a great read on this situation. He knows to conserve a couple of Molotovs, keep the nades in hand. And then Galaxy Racer are walking into the blender once again, but without 50 seconds to use, they've got 15. And that's just not enough to find those kills, deal with the rotate, get the bomb down on either site, especially when you're playing against the North, who seem very prepared for this series. I don't know what happened to them during the player break, but before they seemed very lifeless. And here in this tournament, they do really seem to be battering a lot of the competition and opposition. Galaxy Racer might be the next target here in the quarterfinals.
That's the thing with some of these teams. You just don't know what to expect as they come back from this long break. Some of them, like North, have really, really surprised us. If they can keep this up and they can close out this map, maybe even close out this series, I put them in strong contention of taking home week number 10. The final week of these Malta Vibes tournaments. Oh, nice response frag from Relaxer there. It's going to claim him an AK. A couple of rifles for them to work with now. Still the man disadvantage. Still not a huge amount of control either. Once again, look at the utility on North. They keep it all until the closing moments of the round so that they can cut it out as soon as that push comes through late. Now Galaxy Racer have crossed, but a retake's in place, ready to take this site back.
And North are playing this as a single-pronged attack. They've got plenty of utility in hand, and watch these flashes go. Tabs taken out of the equation. Another 4 versus 2 situation as Relaxer needs to hold up the line for even more than just the one frag. They know exactly where he is, and the nades are starting to pepper through. He's the last alive, and MSL takes him to task. 9-2. North just on a hot streak on the CT side. This is what we love to see from the Danish teams. We watched Mad Lions pull together a masterclass last week, only getting bested in the grand final against Forza, who are also in this playoffs bracket as well. 9-2 on this scoreline. And remember, this is Galaxy Racer's map pick, one that they should be confident on M&J, but they're disastrously down on rounds.
They really are. This is becoming a problem for them, especially they have a pure 50-50 on their T side and CT side round win share. So it's not like they heavily favor their CT side, and you can say, oh, okay, maybe they pull off some masterclass when they go onto their CT side and we're really impressed and they take it back. Right now, this is supposed to be one of their strong sides, and it's just not coming through whatsoever. They have to make sure that they pull back some rounds now, otherwise we could be looking at an 11-4, maybe even a 12-3 half in North's favor. If they can continue applying the pressure like they are, that's definitely on the cards. And look at this hyper aggression from Gade over towards B. He's got full monster control, and it means that they can expend all of these players over towards A. Yeah, they've got 3-4 players over towards this A site, and they can just hold on to this one because they know that they've got such an aggressive stance on B that as soon as any info comes through, they've got time to rotate around.
Such a dangerous game to be playing. I really don't know what territory Galaxy Racer should be facing North on, because of course this is their pick. Maybe we run the risk of thinking here that Overpass was probably the wrong place to take North. North have an 8-4 win record here on Overpass. A little bit less when you get onto Inferno and Train. Of course, it's not going to nuke, that being Galaxy's permaban, but also Dust 2, which could have really been a bit of a saving grace. Galaxy are fairly decent at Dust 2, and it's one of North's weaker maps. Right here, the shutdown comes through, and, well, just 2 kills for Lekro. The bomb tries to go down. A nice flash shot from Relaxer to do even more damage, and this might be a third on the board right now. Gade, he's got a tough, tricky task. He's right behind this after plant. I don't think the AWP is ready for him. He has turned around, and that is unfortunate. Relax wanted to obviously scope out that bank area, not knowing that Gade's coming in from behind, but 9-3 nonetheless. Those 1v3s, you can't really blame him.
Absolutely. That was an unfortunate one. North had a fantastic setup over towards that A site. If that shot doesn't come through from Relaxer there and he gets taken out, the bomb gets denied, that's certainly North's round. It just comes down to those very, very fine plays that ever so slightly sway in someone's favor. Now the timeout comes through for Galaxy Racer. This has to be a turning point for them. I talk about this a lot in Counter-Strike when it comes to these kind of rounds. If this goes North's way, okay, Galaxy Racer do actually still have some money in the bank. They will be able to buy once again. But then Galaxy Racer are looking at a best case 10-5 half, which isn't good at all for T-side Overpass. Whereas if they start to pull it back now, they can bring it back to a 9-6, and it's not great, but it's not bad. Yeah, it's very, very doable, especially if they win that pistol round. It becomes a decent half. So this is their opportunity. They either start winning now, they have a decent half, they start losing now, and it all just goes in the bin. They might as well just say GG right now.
Yeah, this is definitely where they have to get a couple of points on the board. And considering Cajun B has the freedom to get so aggressive, find a frag untraded, this goes from bad to worse for Galaxy Racer. MSL even given the opportunity to backtrack towards this A bomb site and turtle down with a one-man advantage. It really does feel like Galaxy Racer just aren't hitting their shots. We've seen a couple of flashy 2Ks and 3Ks just across the board, but realistically, that level of consistency that we expect to see in a best of 3 just hasn't come to fruition. And North exerting all of this pressure all over the map. And you see that Galaxy Racer also and almost scared to take map control right now, not voyaging into toilets in the first minute of play. Just pressured and threatened by MSL's AWP, and that's exactly why. They don't know where he's playing from and able to find an easy secondary frag.
MSL, he's been so dynamic this whole map so far. You don't know where he's peeking from. You're absolutely right in saying sometimes he gets super aggressive on B short. Sometimes he's playing over towards the fountain and over towards long. This round he's playing deep on site, but he's got that off angle. Relaxer's holding the site. He's expecting him to peek from either the left or the right of the boxes, and instead MSL's standing on top of them. So Relaxer has to try and flick up and can only hit the leg. It's just so difficult to play against when you're on T side. And you're trying to poke your way into a site, and you've got this AWP that's just dancing around the map and just picking you apart, and you have no idea where he's playing. So you can't just bombard him with utility. And every single round, there we go, it's MSL to close things out once again. He has been absolutely incredible, and he's currently sitting 20-4. That is mental.
20-4. I think that's what time my tea's ready. I'm in J.
Ooh. What you having?
I don't know. It was only a joke. I'm not. I don't do the meal plan thing. I'll be honest. I just kind of pick something out, like just point. Oh, that one. Proper Matt Lucas style.
Wow. Be too early to eat as well. 20 to 4.
No, I'm only joking. It was a time. His KD was a time.
All KDs are a time, Squid. All
What?
KDs.
I mean, 2 to 8 is kind of a time. 21 to 4, I guess it's a time. I guess they're a time. But 6 to 13 isn't a time.
Oh, I said, yeah, you're right. So not all KDs are a time, but a lot of them.
There we
a lot
go.
of them. Yeah, of course.
What about 5 to 25? That's not a time.
What is though is 10 to 3, and that's the scoreline, and that's not good. That's not good for Galaxy Racer. It's looking like it's about to go 11 to 3 as well, which is still a time, but it's not your commonly said one. What do they do here? I mean, again, it's just another one of these rounds where they've just been picked apart. MSL's found 2 early frags, and now there's just 2 of them left. It's a 2v3. There's 35 seconds on the clock. They have no equity anywhere. They've got player in B short. Pleasant's had to give up all control that they had over towards A just to go and retrieve that bomb. This is a difficult one.
My granddad used to say, when you asked him the time, he would say, oh, it's 10 to quarter past, 20 to 4. And he'd always be right, but you'd have to work it out. He wanted to challenge your mental maths.
All right. I thought you were just going to like say he was like senile or something, and he just say numbers. But well,
No.
it wasn't a turning point for Galaxy Racer. It was. It didn't go well. They had an opportunity. It was 9 to 3. They had a full buy. They could have won it. They could have brought it back. Now it's quite the opposite. We see in round number 15, they've pulled together whatever they can, and that's a couple of Galils, a Mac 10 to get the work done with. Very limited utility. We could be looking right down the barrel of a 12-3 half here for North and their opponent's map pick. This is shaping up to be a hell of a quarterfinals for this Danish side.
Absolutely. And Galaxy Racer really haven't got started in this first map. Disappointingly so, considering it's their pick. And going on to Train next, you can't help but feel that North have something prepared. And if MSL is going to continue warping like this, Train is going to be very dominant territory. That's where you get out the double snipers. Maybe we'll see Cajun B. Just a flurry of players on this North side are comfortable picking it up on a map like this. And MSL, just from start to finish, has had a great tournament. If he can put together this sort of result across just a couple more maps here, he'll almost certainly, even if North don't win it, be the MVP of the whole of Week 10. I don't think that Eden Arena give out an MVP for their tournaments. So I think we should make a Squid VP, Squid's most valuable player.
It's MSL. What does he win? What do we send him?
Nothing. Nothing. He doesn't get anything. He wins the tournament. He gets 25 grand.
I'll send him a skin.
Send the skin. Okay, well, he can add me on Steam and take one of my 3-cent skins.
I'm sure he'll be happy with that. Oh. This becomes doable for Tabs. If he can find the second kill, it brings it into a one-on-one. 10 seconds on this clock, though. There's a lot of pressure. He spotted out AZ. He has to go for this plant. There's no time, Squid. As soon as he gets it down, surely AZ takes him out. And there we go. That's the issue. When the time pressure's there, there's 10 seconds left on the clock. That's a very winnable 1v1 if he's not in that position. But at time, the clock, it's weighing you down. That's what's happened to him this
by the
whole
way, I think that's the first fake spray plant I've ever seen. He pressed F. He put the spray down just as he was planting. That's interesting. That might be a giveaway. I'm not sure.
It is a bit.
Maybe.
I don't think you'd spray in that scenario.
Imagine if he had faked the plant, thrown the spray down as a double bluff.
Oh yeah, that'd be good.
That would have been good.
That'd been very
Well,
good.
here are those loot bet odds, very one-sided towards North. I don't think anybody's going to be surprised at that. And after a 12-3 CT side, this might be a very quick map of overpass. You were saying before, M&J, that the issue with playing North in this tournament hasn't been that they've been dropping maps, they've barely been dropping rounds. And in this series, they seem to be doing it again. They're playing above and beyond their competition, which is impressive. A lot of the time when we see a tier 1 team step into the mix, sometimes they actually have a couple of issues against the likes of the Galaxy Racers and Team Fate and these more tier 2 teams that we do see just trying to vie their way up the totem pole of the scene. But North haven't had any issues here in this tournament. They were able to take their Group D yesterday very convincingly. And they might be about to do it once again. There's the trade.
Oh, a couple of nice crispy headshots. Oh, Freddy Frog again. If this kill can come through on long, then this puts it to bed, but it's not going to happen. Letcrow's the one to find it. Tab's whiffing from behind as well. If North can find this pistol round, they almost certainly put this map to bed. Galaxy Racer find it. It might be too little too late, but it's certainly a lifeline. These Glocks, their positions are known, but they're trapped in. They have to fight their way out, and Letcrow's the one to open up the first. Now a 2 versus 2 and an opportunity for them to backtrack. The flank's been killed. They could rotate back round. The only issue is they don't have the bomb in hand. That's over towards the A site, and there's 20 seconds on the clock, so they're out of options, and they just have to hit these headshots. It's Letcrow to find them. Oh my goodness, Tabs. 2 very nice headshots. When that double swing come through, I thought he was dead to right. Somehow he finds both, but it's still only the 4th for Galaxy Racer.
Yeah, they need a lot more here. North, they're going to decide to instantly invest into this second round of the half, supposedly. Zazy investing as well, not keeping any money in the back pocket apart from $800 onto MSL. He, of course, wants that AWP a little earlier on his T side in round number 4. So economy management, something that we didn't see from Galaxy Racer, playing a big part in this North T side, and this is going to be a fast running gun setup towards the B site. The rotate from A is miles away, and now the SMGs have to pitch in, and they absolutely are doing so. Quick kills, finally another Deagle to pitch in, but Freddy Frog's here to provide the backward support, and Cajun B out in the open cannot connect. 12-5, we'll see the full eco out of North to get Galaxy Racer up to 6.
Well, it's a lifeline. It's definitely a lifeline. If they can win the buy round, obviously this is just going to be a freebie for them. If they can win the following buy round after that, then there's an opportunity for them to close this gap and fight their way back into this one. The real issue is that North have got tons of momentum built up, and they've been looking incredible this map. I'm interested to see how MSL does on that T-side AWP, because he was incredibly aggressive on this CT side with the AWP, and that kind of shows that when he switches over, he's going to do the same. And I think that that's a very, very daunting factor for Galaxy Racer right now, that as soon as he gets that AWP in hand, he's going to continue to wreak havoc on this map, and he's going to be all over the place with it. Right now, these pistols, it's all they have to work with, and they can't even finish off Freddy Frog. He's actually going to be able to get away with a few points of health.
Bit weird. Just trying to scrap for these kills over beside long. That's a full flash on through, and Freddy Frog does finally get taken apart. Should have probably been falling back there to try and save the M4, but nonetheless, it's picked up. Only the scouts dropped. And now I'm sure that Galaxy Racer will put the AWP in hand for Relaxer. They do. So we see that sniper presence for both sides. Expect MSL, as you said, to be that aggressive prompt in pincer. Maybe sitting on long outside B. He's a very versatile AWPer, even on the T side. And expect him to go for those opening frags. Apart from that, AZ's had a bit of a quiet map. I'm expecting him to show up at some point. He's quite a streaky player at the best of times. You'll see big 20, 25 frag maps from him, and then sometimes going completely quiet. Remember, this is a bit of a bonus round. Not quite, considering there was a fair bit of investment in this one for Galaxy Racer. Not keeping reserve in the bank for Relaxers AWP in the next round if they do lose this. And MSL just a whisker away from winning that fight. He was watching the angle into toilets, and Relaxer holding quite a funky angle trying to cover long. Over into playground as well. Into party. Just all of these different angles being covered.
Wow, this is a very important round for Galaxy Racer. If they want to pull back this near miraculous comeback, they absolutely have to convert this buy up. They're going to spot out that player on bank, narrowly missing that shot. North are actually running down this clock quite low. 45 seconds on it. The bomb's all the way back in playground to throw that smoke. It is looking like they are going to commit to this A push though, and there's 3 CTs patiently waiting to shut it down. They might walk into the blender here. North have to win their fights.
They're precariously close to this A site as well, and that Molotov's going to be a little too late. The flash is perfect, and they've even got Cajun B as a supportive factor from behind. The trade's coming through nonetheless, and Relax is going to be stuck in no man's land, turns the wrong way, and Cajun B takes care of him. Bomb can perhaps easily go down. There's only a couple of seconds left. Tabs needs to deny this, but it doesn't happen. That should be the round over, and North, they were a whisker away from losing that one, but it's up to 13 for the Danes.
Wow, that come incredibly close. Another situation. Look at this. If he gets that kill, oh my. If he gets that kill a tick earlier, the bomb gets dropped. There's no time for it to be retrieved and go down, and Galaxy Racer win that round. As long as he can stay alive, of course, which would have been another task in itself, but it was definitely
they didn't coordinate it very well. It was a 4 versus 2 with only a couple of seconds on the board. I guess if Tabs dives in there and tries to take away Gade, who's planting that bomb, literally on 10 HP, lands 1 shot, it's round over. Here comes the tactical timeout. I'm not sure what you're going to be talking about at this point, considering this is, I mean, it could be a force buy. Tabs, Dezen, Pleasant could all pick up rifles. I guess Relaxer would be stuck with the Deagle, but I'd actually prefer a bit of a buy here, considering the scoreline is so bad. Wow. They opt for the eco. It somewhat makes sense. It means that they can go for this full investment to try and contest this one. But it allows their opponents to get to 14. It's a very, very dangerous number. You're fighting right on the line. And if you step back, they're on the edge of a cliff, Squid, and they're fighting. And if they take a step back, then they fall off the cliff. And MSL, again, he's punching in numbers. Look at this. He's 26 to 11. He's not doing as much as he was on the first half, but he's still playing absolutely incredibly. As soon as he's had that AWP in hand, he's been finding multi-kills time and time again. And that's just going to be a very, very easy cleanup there for North. The AWP's going to be retrieved as well, so they're only going to lose an AK, and they'll be fine reinvesting that. And now they're 1 away from match point. And this is their opponent's map pick. This was a must-win map for Galaxy Racer. If they lose this, they have to go over to Train, which is North's pick. And even though their win rate historically isn't fantastic on it, as we've talked about, they've had a great big player break. And that means that there's an opportunity for them to kind of mix up their map pool a little bit. They've had a few months to practice Train and maybe cook up some new strats for it. And they might come in with some new, interesting, funky things that Galaxy Racer just aren't going to anticipate. Maybe they're also expecting MSL to just go crazy with that AWP and feel like there's a kill disparity and a firepower disparity on this server. When you actually look at the wins that Galaxy Racer have taken on Train, their wins are against, let's look at them, Isako Boars, Movistar Riders, Fate, and Level Up, and most of them are actually in overtime. 2 of their wins in OT, 2 of those wins against Movistar and Isako, pretty one-sided, but these aren't like the best teams in the world by any means. North's 3 wins are against Forza, NIP, and Ago. There's definitely a difference. It's like, spot the difference. There are a couple when it comes to these teams that both of these 2 rosters are beating. I feel like North, there is a bit of a firepower disparity on the server right now. They seem to be just punching in all of the digits. And that flashbang doesn't do anything, but what a missed flick. It's quite an audacious shot to go for. You're not going to connect that one most of the time. Pleasant now has to hold up the line, but it's not enough to save this A bomb site.
Yeah, He does do very well there, all things considered, but there's no way he's going to be able to take them all on, especially with no support, no utility being thrown from any of his teammates, as they'd all fallen. And this is going to be a save for Tabs and Dezen. They allow their opponents to get to match point. They're hoping that they can pull back 9 in a row off of the back of this. Their teammates are going to have no cash whatsoever. Well, I mean, they'll be able to drop a couple of weapons. I think they'll definitely be able to pull out a half-decent buy. Maybe
I don't think it really matters, M&J. I think this map's over. I'm actually a bit confused why RACER decides to try and pull off such a crazy AWP shot this late in the game. I don't know if he's down in the dumps at this point, but if that is really his plan, to stand all the way out in the open, hit a crazy flick, and if he does it, 10 times in a row, then maybe Galaxy RACER get this to OT or win. I really think that's quite a bad plan.
That's it, isn't it? If he has a support player playing in toilets and he's just watching that connector push, then that makes sense, because you have a guy there watching that connector push. He's watching his right-hand side if he gets swung, and that works. That's a good cross setup, and you can justify that aggression. But him just out there in the open, and he's basically holding an angle and saying, I'm just going to ignore connector, and if someone does come connector, which is pretty likely, yeah, then I'm going to go for some crazy flick and hope that I hit it. You're absolutely right. It really makes very little sense. And it potentially shows that they're just a little bit defeated right now. They've got very little to work with here. For Mass, a UMP, and MP9. And if they don't convert this round, it's going to be 16-6 to North. And they already find the opening picks here on the B-bomb site.
Yeah, pretty bad map from Galaxy RACER, all things considered. I think this is the last round of this map with Cajun B hitting all the headshots. Let's get on to Train. As far as I'm concerned, Galaxy RACER putting up just not any type of a fight whatsoever. This has been a very, very one-sided map. Maybe the most one-sided map we'll see in the whole of these playoffs, looking at the matchups. And yeah, I was really excited about this opener. North, yeah, they were the favorites, but very, very slim favorites here on Overpass as far as the betting odds were concerned. And that's the deal sealed, M&J. Done and dusted. North 1-0 in this series. It's their map pick coming up next. What do you think about what we just saw?
I'm very, very surprised. We talked in the pregame about the fact that that should have been a close game. Yeah, we said it's Galaxy RACER's map pick, but North are pretty confident on it, and it should be close. Maybe it goes either way. Maybe it goes to North, but it should definitely be close. The betting odds showed that as well, and that's just not what we saw. We saw an incredibly dominant performance from North. I think that the 6 rounds that Galaxy RACER even put on the board kind of came down to these, like, very kind of crazy plays where it was like, last second they managed to get that bomb down. North are just unable to deny it in time, and it wasn't convincing. I actually don't remember a single round from Galaxy RACER that they put on the board that was like a super convincing round. The majority of the rounds that they actually took, in fact 3 of them, were off of the back of the second half pistol round, where it was a bit of a lucky 1v2. He gets those 2 headshots and it allows them to string together a couple off of that. But in my mind, that could have been a 16-0. Yeah, that was just completely dominant from North the whole way through. They were in the driving seat the whole time, and there was just very little fight there from Galaxy RACER, and they have to come into Train, reset completely, and try and fight their best, because that just wasn't their best. What we saw there was not their best.
Yeah, absolutely so. Great performance from North. They're just 1 map win away from securing that semi-final place against... Oh, I've got it on the tip of my tongue, M&J. Existence, of course. I literally looked at it a couple of seconds before as well. Very, very professional stuff here from Squid CS. You can send all your hate there. My friends, we're going to go to a very short break. I'm going to go for a lie down, and we'll see you in about 5 to 10 minutes' time with the second map of this quarterfinal. Hello and welcome back, everybody. You're watching the Eden Arena Malta Vibes. We're here with the Week 10 playoffs, which is just starting to get heated up. Here, North, they've just taken down Galaxy Racer 16-6, very dominant fashion, on Galaxy Racer's pick of Overpass. Now we go into more firm territory for North. They must have picked it for a reason. It's definitely not the statistics in terms of the percentages we've been talking about. Nevertheless, a lot of North's wins here on Train M&J are against these tier 1 teams. We're talking NIP, we're talking AGO, these sort of ESL Pro League level teams that North have been able to take down in best of 3s, with Train as a staple of that map pool. Do we have any other inkling as to why they've picked Train here today?
I honestly don't know. I looked at this in the pregame. I was trying to work out like why they've gone for Train. They haven't had the best of results in it. Even in recent weeks in the 9-5-3 and CS Summit, they haven't had the best of results. But maybe they've just been practicing it. That's really what I put it down to sometimes with these teams where they pick a map that they're not super confident with. Maybe they've just been practicing it. Maybe they're actually pretty confident on Train. As you mentioned in the last map as well, MSL is fired up today, and we know how dangerous a very strong AWPer can be on a map like Train. So if he's all guns blazing, then definitely they'll have a huge advantage going into it. I think they could take Galaxy Racer on any map at this point, to be honest. After seeing how dominant they were on Overpass, I think right now with the momentum built up, with how we've seen them play today and how we've seen Galaxy Racer play today, I think North should be pretty confident going onto any map in the pool.
Absolutely. I think that you're right on the money there with the MSL factor. He's had a massive impact, not just today, but in the 2 series that we saw him play in Group D yesterday as well. Really great results from him with that AWP, especially on Vertigo, but I expect to see similar scenes here on Train. And even if they don't win it, they've got Vertigo up next, which is a pretty stronghold map for North as well. We've seen pretty good results on them from start to finish. A couple of good wins in the last couple of days, to be perfectly honest. Sprite yesterday, and also taking Saw 16-12 on Vertigo as well in that best of 1. So 2 fairly convincing-ish series, with MSL's AWP being the staple. Across that series, I mean, MSL wasn't the most standout player up against Sprite. They're in the best of 3, only taking supposedly, is that 12 kills on the first map of Vertigo, and across the best of 3, taking 42 frags, so really nothing to sniff at. But it was that first map of the day that we really saw MSL come into his own with 21 kills, lots of presence upon ramp. He's always in those important places, and that's what we were talking about again on Overpass just a few moments ago, that he's very unpredictable. You never know where exactly he's coming from, and MSL's always that danger man with the AWP. And if he proves successful once again on Train, very AWP heavy territory, then this could very easily be a 2-0, which is my prediction for today.
Absolutely, and I think I couldn't agree with you more. Of course, there's a wealth of talent on that north side with Cajun B, AZ, Lecro, incredibly talented players, and they're legends in the scene. But MSL just does so much for that side. He's the brains of the team, he's the fragger on the AWP. I think we're about to jump straight into this knife round, Squid, without too much chit-chat left.
Let's do it.
This game's kicked off. Second map of the quarterfinals. We might be seeing Galaxy Racer fall early here.
Yeah, absolutely so. If they don't show us anything better than previously on Overpass, then this could be a very, very quick affair here in the quarterfinals. It does look like Galaxy Racer will win this knife round, unless we see any AZ shenanigans. This was a 1 versus 3, but I mean, knife rounds, it's very hard to take away 2 players, and that's exactly why. Galaxy Racer now, they can select that CT side first. They usually do favor their counter-terrorist half, especially on a map like this, which is classically very CT-sided. If I dig deeper into the stats here, very weak T-side win percentage, whereas on the CT side, we're looking at about 59%. So they're averaging between 8 and 9 rounds. I think they need a couple more against North if they're expecting to win this series.
Absolutely. Well, here are the odds from our partners over at LootBet. They are heavily favoring North going into this one, and I'm not surprised. I think I agree with that. there is still a chance for Galaxy Racer, of course, and with them kicking things off on this CT side, there's an opportunity for them to take the magnitude of the rounds here in the first half and build up some confidence that I think they're lacking here today in this series. But of course, if they can't take these early rounds on the CT side, they might struggle in the second. Tabs is the man to open up the first kill of the game. So a 5-on-4 now as North. Oh, they're all spread around this map. They're not committing to anything just yet.
They're looking for these opening frags, waiting for Galaxy Racer to perhaps make a mistake, which hasn't been coming through as of that point, but Lecro instantly nails one, deadly as ever with the P250, able to snap away those longer range shots. And you can see exactly where RACER stood. That is where Freddy Frog did drop. So long range shot, can't often achieve those with the Glocks. Nevertheless, this does look to be an A burst. I guess Lecro once again is running distraction over towards the curly letter. If he can find another headshot here, this might force another rotate off and away, with North making no noise over towards the A bomb site. Desert out in the open as well. Is going to catch Cajun B. Should have been connecting with that shot, especially in a 3 versus 3. Bomb can now go down in the safety of that train. And with 35 seconds left, they've got plenty of time to spare. Another shot for North as this pistol round is all falling apart at the seams for Galaxy Racer. They need some headshots right now, and they're unable to find them. Cajun B a third. This pistol round rocking and rolling out of control for Galaxy Racer. Pleasant, he might have the defuse kit and smoke combination, but he needs to find all of these frags, MJ, and I just don't see it happening. He's missing everything, and Cajun B with a quad kill. 1-0 to North. A beautiful pistol.
Absolutely. A huge whiff from Desden there. That completely opens up that A bomb site. And North are just able to capitalize. They put that P250 on Lecro and they put it on him for a reason. He's the man that was leading that distraction over towards B. He had to try and find a long range kill. He did exactly that. It initiated the push from his teammates on the other side of the map, and they executed it absolutely perfectly, hitting all of their shots. Now they've got some weapons to work with. Of course, there was a bomb plant in place, so they had some money, but they're not going to opt for the rifles or anything like that. They're going to go for some SMGs. They're going to keep an AK on Cajun B, a Galil on MSL. They want to keep that utility healthy as they face just up against these Deagles and a couple of scouts on the Galaxy Racer side.
They can be potent, they can be dangerous. Let's see if Desmond can connect with anything. He's the first man to face, with quite a shiny Deagle, I must say. Only able to rack up the one. Plenty of damage on the second for the Scout to take control as Tabs doubles things through. And Cajun B, he's back on the chase. A 2 versus 2 once again. This is not the cleanest of rounds for North, but they are searching for this relaxer position. One Scout shot missed and waiting for that re-peak. It's an easy round to eventuate. 2-0 for North. Did look a little bit shaky at the start, but this should be easier, MJ, up against a couple of USPSs.
It should. As you say, that one did get a little bit close for comfort. Of course, Galaxy Racer did have the investment, and on a map like Train, those scouts and those Deagles at long range can be very, very dangerous. And they do prove that, but they can't quite convert the round. And, well, this should be a freebie for North right now, and it's quite a dangerous start, because even though it doesn't mean anything, yeah, taking those initial 3 rounds doesn't mean a whole lot. It does mean that Galaxy Racer haven't had an opportunity to come into this game and actually kick things off nicely. They just come out of the back of a horrible, horrible loss over on Overpass. This was really their opportunity to come into Train and hold their heads high. Instead, they kick it off with what most likely will be a 3-round deficit. They have managed to find a couple of kills and retrieve an AK, but with no Kevlar, tons of control given up. I don't think there's any fight left in him for this round, at least.
I mean, neither. Tabs is the only saving grace with this AK-47 trying to hold down the MSL line, but as he resorts back to more passive ways, he's already been spotted as well. Wait for the peak for MSL to come through. Luckily, Tabs takes the second angle, but they know exactly where he's playing from, M&J. He doesn't really have the information right now. He's even being mollied off, and maybe saving this AK-47 is the best bet. It's actually spotted out a second one here, so can try and blast that back over to Pleasant, but they can hear those bullets. I think they will be aware of exactly what he's doing here. Of course, Pleasant has grabbed hold of that rifle. Goes down. Nice, stellar stuff. As they want to eliminate Tabs. That was a jumping shot just from across the map. What was that? Tabs needs a lot more, and it's not going to happen. The ability to trade up now to a double AK-47 for North, as they will go for the 3-rifle reinvestment here in round 4, as we see Galaxy RACER, their first rifle round in hand here.
That's very nice stuff from North to expend those SMGs that they had remaining, to get rid of those rifles, still keep those 2 AKs, so they really didn't lose a whole lot in that scenario. They were looking to upgrade anyway going into round number 4. This is going to be a full investment from both sides. It doesn't mean a whole lot to Galaxy RACER that they weren't able to take those AKs across. They will be able to invest nonetheless. But those AK-47s can be very, very powerful in a CT's hands, especially on a map like Train. Some early engagements taken, a little bit of damage dealt here to North. But in the meantime, Letcrow, he's so sneaky. He's crept his way all the way up Sandwich, and he might be able to get the drop on one of these players over towards Ivy.
They have no idea. And there's Letcrow with both of the headshots. That's beautiful. Completely opens up the can of worms, which is the A-bomb site. And Galaxy RACER do slap it right back. MSL's there in place for another AWP shot. That's exactly what he needs to be doing here, but Freddy Frog is thundering around, making so much noise, and how does he hit that one? Down to 19 points of health, but the bomb going down. Galaxy RACER misreading the situation. They're heading over to the B bomb site. They have no idea what's going on. And now they have to initiate this retake very late with only the 1 defuse kit in hand. Pleasant has to be the absolute battering ram, bolstering his way into this A site. And with these after plants already established, I don't know if North is going to give him all too much to work with. He is spotting nothing right now. Finally, a little bit of information for Pleasant. There goes the tap, but the kills come through. They're good for 2. And North keep this flawless scoreline.
That was another one of those rounds for Galaxy RACER where they kind of needed to win it. They let it slip away. They're most likely going to allow North to get to 5. Instead, they actually call a timeout and discuss what they're going to go for here. They have the max loss bonus, so they can absolutely invest a fair amount into this round. They could actually justify a few SMGs here. And as long as they keep around about $1,000 in the bank on these players that want to go for the rifles in the next, then they're absolutely comfortable. So we might see a funky investment here. We might just see some pistols and Kevlar pulled out. Either way, this is not where you want to be if you're Galaxy RACER. The max loss bonus is a bit of a saving grace, but it's not something you want to be using. You want to be winning those rounds. You want the win bonus. Instead, they're actually, just kind of going for an eco here.
Everybody loves a little bit of win bonus. Yeah, there's no way that Galaxy RACER throwing a buy here in the 5th. They've got the opportunity to go for the full investment in the upcoming 6th. I know that they give away 5 early rounds to North, but an opportunity on the CT side to then shut it down in the later opportunities. It should be, once again, another easy opportunity for the Danes. If they can find these opening shots especially, they could actually salvage quite a clean round, which, looking at the team money, they haven't been able to do so as of this point. This really wants to be a clean one for North, to be perfectly honest. And especially with MSL nailing that first shot, it's quite a quick flick onto Relax. That's something to be aware of as he gets the AWP out into the next. Maybe don't be challenging those angles, because MSL especially is going to take your face off. He seems in an angry mood in this tournament, M&J. He's out for blood.
He's angry. He's got something against these Swedes. Maybe it's like a country rivalry. They're like the neighbors over in Scandinavia. He's grumpy with them.
Isn't Swede like a vegetable?
Maybe he doesn't like Swedes. Maybe that's what it is. He's got a bit confused and he's like, I hate Swedes.
Us esports guys aren't really a big fan of vegetables.
Agreed.
The only 5 a day that North will be taking will be the rounds.
Probably more than 5 though, if they can convert these next few. And look at this. I mean, they just burst in. Even when they're against just the pistols, they still play it so coordinated. They make sure that nobody falls. And once again, we see another flawless round here from North. That just allows them to rack up this money as well. So we come into round number 6. Of course, this is going to be a full investment from Galaxy RACER. They're actually going to go for a double up setup, throw one over towards Tabs, which is something we haven't seen at all so far this series. So I'm interested to see how he does on that scoped rifle. But North, they've still got plenty of cash in the bank. Even if they lose this round, they've got more than enough to invest into the next. Possibly even one more after that if they manage their economy properly. It's a very strong start from them.
And that realistically has been the first really convincing round from North that we've seen on this T side. As you said, gets them to this $4,000 to $5,000 mark between them. Guarantees a back-to-back buy. Realistically, Galaxy Racer haven't been able to afford the double AWP setup. They've lost the majority of their rounds on their T side of Overpass, where double ops, they're just not viable. Here on Train, the CT side, you'd be expecting even a losing roster to whip them out sooner or later. And here in round 6, we actually see them paying some dividends. Relaxer finding that first kill. Pleasant also trading evenly. Means North, they are on the back foot by one player and maybe looking to target this B bomb site. 2 players are voyaging towards this side of things. They will be taking this up close corner against Freddy Frog, who has to nail this shot and doesn't even connect one bullet there. The swing comes through and Tab's likely to receive. Does find just the first, but where's the smoke grenades? There's actually none in play for North. I think they've got to throw this bomb all the way over, or AZ with the retrieved AWP watching for it. But the flank already in action. There's the Molotov down, should guarantee this bomb plant. North are going to have to fight their way out of this one. The flank in full effect. Relaxer about to peek on through. And AZ receives him perfectly. Baiting away on the ladder to catch off Tabs. Means that the AK can swing into position. And North are playing this perfectly. Baiting out all of these individual fights. And Galaxy Racer, they're falling for it. They've absolutely been ran through the loop. And what a perfect 3 versus 2 played by North.
That is incredible. AZ and Electro there finding all of the kills. That was absolutely flawless. And they had such a fantastic read on the situation as well. That flank was coming through on Relaxer. And of course, in that scenario, you somewhat anticipate a flank. But the Molotov went down at the perfect time so that he wasn't able to push through and deny the plant. It kept him at bay. It meant they could bait out the other shots on the deeper side of the B-bomb site. And then they know the positions of those final 2 players. And then it means that they can turn around, deal with that flank, then take the 2-man fights. They know that there's no potential of being shot in the back. They play it absolutely flawlessly, and they take a very important round from Galaxy Racer. North now sits 6-0. They're 6-0 up, and this is the T side of Train. This is bad. This is bad if you're Galaxy Racer right now. I'm not surprised they're calling these timeouts because they need them. They need to discuss what's going wrong here and how to fix it before it spirals out of control.
One weird tendency that Galaxy Racers seem to have is taking the tactical timeout right before a half buy or a full eco, where you're probably not going to be talking about the 7th round. I'd prefer the tactical timeout directly preceding your rifle round, where you can really get into the nitty-gritty of what you necessarily want to do. And up against North here, yes, tactics have to be flawless. Otherwise, you're really going to have troubles. That's a nice pair of shots from Pleasant, but it gets traded right back. Only one. And now North want to rummage elsewhere, perhaps towards Ivy. There still is a double set piece with the Deagles holding clear. I don't know if they will check the Freddy Frog angle, considering they've already taken down Tabs. They really need somebody to watch along this left-hand side, or just hold serve for Pleasant to make the mistake. Because it looks like Galaxy Racer, they might be peeking into this one. This really shouldn't work out. There's the scout as well. They are hitting the shots. Cajun B, 28 HP. And what can MSL do? The captain to bail his team out of a spot of bother. Maybe the Molotov might force Cajun B into a sticky situation. But this 1 versus 2 looks very touch and go. Almost impossible for Cajun B. Doesn't spot out the first there. And they've got all of the info. There's the double peak for the first round for Galaxy Racer.
That's actually a very nice round from them. They had very, very few tools to work with, and somehow they tip it over the edge. Now an opportunity to talk about our partners over at Hellcase. Make sure you're using code MALTAV or code MALTAV15 when you top up your balance over there to get a hefty refill bonus. Back to the game, though. That needs to be a turning point for Galaxy Racer. They're against the North with a couple of Galils. This is their best opportunity to break their opponent's economy and wriggle their way back into this map. If they can't do so, they're certainly going to struggle here in the first half of Train.
Yeah, the money isn't a massive issue on Relaxer and Pleasant, but as you go down the rank and file, the other three players have less than $1,000 between the trio of them. This is a real big problem for Galaxy Racer, especially with North doing so much damage in each individual round. It's just forcing the economy into just a diabolical state, and it's forcing up a lot of ecos and half buys for Galaxy Racer. If they lose this one with all 5 players falling, even 4 players falling realistically, the chances are North will force up another eco in the next and get not just to 7 but 8. Another important round on the board. There is the opportunity that Galaxy Racer, they find their footing on the CT side, they start to roll the rounds back, and we see maybe an 8-7 or 9-6 half. I think that anything less than that, Galaxy Racer really need to take, I think, 7 or 8 here on the CT side. Otherwise, it might be curtains.
Absolutely, and it is a real issue that Galaxy Racer have been denied the opportunity to build up a strong and consistent economy. Of course, North haven't let them save any weapons in a single round. Galaxy Racer, this is an important one for them to convert, and now they've got the man disadvantage. 2 AWPs to play with as they go to retake this site. In good positions to do so, but they need to find the opening shots, and there's Relaxer to do so. Freddy Frog chiming in as well. The man advantage now swinging the opposite way, and Gade has to trade this one out. He's got good angle. He might be able to swing and catch Relaxer off guard, and that's exactly what he does. Brings it back into a 2-on-2.
That's an unbelievable shot. Tries to reaggress into Freddy Frog. And that does not work out for him. Lekro in the open gives away the retake. And that's Galaxy Racer with a second. Did Freddy Frog lose that bomb for a second? You definitely don't want to be making that mistake. Look, it's tucked away under that little metal pole. That is very sneaky.
That is very sneaky. That's something that's been in the game for... Well, I think since they actually did the update to train, it's been a sneaky little place where if you plant the bomb properly, you can't really see it. It's a bit cheeky. Surprised that it hasn't been changed. Nonetheless, of course, it's the second round on the board. Yeah, I suppose. Valve do tend to be quite slow with things like that. But yeah, it's the second round on the board for Galaxy Racer. They should be able to take this third as well, as they're just against a north side with a few pistols to work with. That's, of course, an opportunity for them to close this gap, get back into this game.
That is a really massive whip of Freddy Frog, and now he's going to be challenged from all the sides. The pistols, what a coordinated peek from North. That ensures the bomb will go down and forcing a really awkward retake for Galaxy Racer. There's another shot from Lekro. And Gade, he's right between the ranks. What a no-scope. Might give them a chance in this one, but Lekro's still firing on all cylinders. The AWP at the ready, and this Galaxy Racer side is being decimated. Relaxer might just get away with this sniper, but it's not good enough. 7 rounds on the board for North. No opportunity in the retake there. Gade doing an absolutely marvelous job creating confusion and chaos in the ranks. And North just thriving on this T side.
Wow, they really are. That was maybe a bit of a misplay from Galaxy Racer there. They should have known that they were against a north side with a very limited economy. Therefore, they were just going to have the pistols to work with. And that was really a buy from North, where they weren't really expecting to be able to bring a whole lot into that one. They just said, you know what, we're around the 4K mark. We might as well buy some pistols in Kevlar and go for a fast B play. They walked straight into a single player with that AWP, who was that B anchor. As you say, whiffs that initial shot. He gets overwhelmed by the pistols. And when you're in that scenario, the B bomb site can be so difficult to retake, especially when you've got these pistols that have got hyper aggressive. That was an incredible no-scope from Relaxer. After he hit that, I thought there was an opportunity to get back into it. But instead, North just come through. They connect all the shots with those pistols. And now Galaxy Racer on the back foot once again.
I think it unfortunately baited Galaxy Racer into trying to make a second wind at that retake, and it really didn't work out for them. I don't know why they're giving Gage so much space. He's already out onto the B bomb site. I think he has been spotted, and there is the shot to convert. And I double ups for North in a 2 versus 4. This is quite a messy scenario, considering out of the 6 players alive, 4 have snipers. And expect all the spaghetti thrown all over the floor. Messy, messy stuff with that skite as MSL does connect.
Wow. It's been a bit bit of a battle of the force buys these last couple of rounds. Of course, Galaxy Racer had very little to work with in this round as well. A couple of pistols, an AWP, a scout. Very, very shaky buy, and they've managed to do a hell of a lot of work with it. They have to be careful, though.
No.
Oh, my. MSL lands a ridiculous no-scope. Brings it back into a 2-on-2. That's a huge whiff from Tabs, and it gives their opponents a lifeline. There's still 25 seconds on this clock. RACER absolutely has to hit this shot on the cross. There's no smoke available. They might throw this flash before they do so. And MSL, oh my, how does he do this? How does he connect these shots over and over again? It's Freddy Frog, the last man. He swings out a pop dog, and MSL has a perfect read on the situation. He knows exactly where he is, and North somehow fight their way out of a 4 versus 2 squid. What is going on?
That's another ace. That's our second ace of the series. This time MSL, the captain, putting everybody upon his shoulders, forcing the round and a tactical timeout off the back of it. Galaxy Racer, I don't know what there's left to discuss. I guess this will be a buy round for them, but a really just bad overall performance from them in the 10th. I don't know why the AK from, was it Freddy Frog, has to just Battlestorm and Blitzkrieg right over the top. Makes no sense whatsoever. And MSL, he's very competent at hitting these shots. You're challenging the maddest fragger in the server right now, and it makes no sense. 8-2. Galaxy Racer down in the dumps once again, as we might see after a 16-6 on Overpass. Just as much of a convincing result in the next. Some of these rounds are coming quite close, but North, they've got rifles in hand once again. They are up against the AAWP setup, but this has not paid massive returns for Galaxy Racer. They've really just been knocked about.
That's really the thing, isn't it? On Overpass, it felt like the majority of North's rounds were very, very convincing. Whereas here, a lot of them are coming incredibly close. And that means that there's an opportunity that Galaxy Racer can tweak a few things, maybe just get a little bit better at closing out those rounds where they have a huge advantage, like a 4 versus 2 that we saw in the last, and therefore gives them an opportunity to pull back a few more rounds and have more of a chance over here on trade. The issue is that, yeah, that's just not happening.
No, it's not happening whatsoever. That was another really messy peak from RACER as well. Just staring at the flashbang. I don't know what he was expecting to happen, but yeah, some of these really wild plays from Galaxy Racer, which is costing them rounds, costing them maps. And maybe RACER feels like he needs to take a risk right now, but that was not very well planned.
Wow. The kills coming through, and once again, the utility usage from North has been absolutely fantastic. Any angle that an AWP holds seems to get flashed, but Pleasant, he's somehow come through with a 3K. That was very much looking like North's round for the taking, and now it's been stripped away from them. It's all on Cajun B. It's a 2 versus 1. It's somewhat winnable, but with 20 seconds on the clock and the bomb to retrieve, there's no way out, and Pleasant is going to finish him off. A massive 4K for him to find, and AWP retrieved as well. And an important round for Galaxy Racer to take once again. Look at this on top of the train. Hold on, here we go. Got the AUG in hand, sprays away, connects that second, repeaks, lands the head of MSL. Very, very nice stuff from him.
And that's exactly what Galaxy Racer need at this point. Those big fraggers need to show up. We've seen very little from Pleasant this series. Finally, a quad kill. He's on 8 frags, only had 4 before that 11th round. Yeah, really not good enough, but if he steps up right now, there is still a chance for the Galaxy Racer side to pull a couple of rounds back, get to that 7 mark that I was talking about earlier, and then maybe put together a convincing T side. Up against North, we've already seen what their CT side on Overpass had to offer. That was 12-3. Realistically, anything close to that would be curtains, game over, and very early days, an early night for Galaxy Racer perhaps here in the quarterfinals. This is a single elimination bracket. There are no second chances. Freddy Frog, fully flashed, is going to get eviscerated, and Galaxy Racer just don't have enough manpower over on this B site to fight away even the most basic pistols, as MSL is literally standing right on top of this site, the overseer of all of this action. forcing Galaxy Racer away. And without any money, they have to backtrack, save these triple rifles.
I'm getting deja vu, Squid. The scoreline's looking very similar. The rounds seem to be very, very similar. It's just rinse and repeat for North right now. They know that their utility usage is fantastic, and they can go into these sites, they can use these flashbangs, and they can break apart Galaxy Racer. When you look at the start of the round, you actually look over towards the map, you realize that they've got some really strong setups. They've got these nice crossfire formations in play over towards B. They've got a nice kind of setup where they have someone tend to be playing aggressive and then someone towards the back of the site to support. But as soon as those flashes rain over, it separates those two players. There's no trade potential. There's no opportunity for that close player to fall back. They just get isolated and destroyed. And that's what North are doing over and over again. And Galaxy Racer just don't seem to be able to counter it. They're either on the save or they're on the retake, time and time again. And right now, North have got an opportunity to put together a similar scoreline to what we saw on Overpass. It's 9-3 right now. There's very little money in the Galaxy Racer bank, and this should be another free round for North if they play their cards right.
Wow. MSL, again with the openings. He's been so consistent in finding these first frags. And how do you play these rounds, even on the CT side of Train in 4v5s pretty routinely? It's just getting completely crushed by North. We'll see a double-digit T side from them. And I think Galaxy Racer might be starting to mentally check out. This has to be daunting. A massive comeback needs to be on the cards for them to even have a chance in this opening quarterfinal matchup. And realistically, this series might already be over. We might even be throwing to some other commentators to pick up the action, because this is a stinker of a series for Galaxy Racer. They've got nothing done. Only 9 rounds out of about 30 played thus far. Really poor stuff.
It absolutely is. This isn't the Galaxy Racer side that I'm used to seeing. I've actually been pretty impressed with this side recently. They've been putting up some fantastic results. We even saw them win 2-0 against MIBR just a few days ago. And here they're just really, really struggling. Of course, this is a series that we were somewhat expecting them to struggle in. North are the favourites going into it, and I think that's for sure. I don't think there's any question about that really. But I was expecting more from them, more rounds on some of these maps, maybe even for them to take Overpass and this to maybe go 2-1 in North's favour. Instead, this is just the North show. Round after round, they are taking them very, very convincingly. And here, once again, we see Galaxy Racer. They've got full investment. They've got 2 AWPs in hand. They've got some M4s. But they have to get the work done. Otherwise, North get on to 11. And look at this. Huge aggression to kick things off. And the early kills to back it up too.
What a burst. Just straight out onto this A-bomb site. Nothing that Galaxy Racer can do to slow this pace whatsoever. Just the AWP of RACER trying to throw a spanner in the works, but he's already been spotted. All of the information granted. And there's the trade potential there for Lecro. Another round goes the way of North. 11-3 on the board. No opportunity for a retake whatsoever. They're not even going to attempt it here on the A-bomb site. Lost in confusion for Galaxy Racer. They've barely taken any rounds in this series. And yeah, once again, just getting bested by the speed and momentum of this North T side, completely blistering their way onto that A side of things. This definitely looks like another 12-3 half for North. Only a couple of pistols, I guess. I mean, Desert and Freddy Frog might be able to drop a rifle apiece. I guess with the picked up utility they will, and there's an AWP as well, so something to work with in round number 15. I guess we'll see all 5 players with rifles somehow.
Well, I think, yeah, with those 2 players saving, that was what I had in mind. In round number 14, they didn't have a lot of money in the bank, so had they all died there really wouldn't have been a huge investment coming into number 15. But keeping 2 alive means that they can drop a couple of rifles. There was enough money for that AWP. And actually, this is a very, very strong buy from them. So an opportunity for them to fight back, try and take this 11-4. But right now, from what we're seeing from North, I'm not too sure about it. They go for this fast B push again. This time, Tabs is the one to find the opener. North actually just retreat. They don't want anything to do with that. Their whole play is around the fact that they push in, they find that opening headshot, and if they can't do so, then they're going to slow things down, and they're going to win it with the utility instead. Look at this boost coming through. Is this going to spot out the connector player?
Yeah, this is one right from the MSL strat book. Oh, and he blunders it. We won't get to see it at the end of this half. I'd love to watch another North demo to see if he actually throws that into fruition once again. It's a slightly deeper boost, gets you more of a look in towards that B site. And I'm actually sad that we don't get to see it in the 5 versus 4. Maybe North deciding they don't want to give all of their strategy to Reddit. Here, considering they're 3-11 up. It'll be about to be 11-4, considering the bomb is dropped. MSL with barely any HP is going to get toasted. And AZ, well, this will just solidify the half. 11-4 will be the scoreline. There's, with the flank in full effect, no chance for him to secure it well. I say confidently.
I wouldn't speak too soon. You are right, though. There's 16 seconds on the clock. He has got this bomb in hand. If he finds this opener, then there's potential. But, oh no! Look at that headshot. He's not going to anticipate Freddy Frog below him, though, and Galaxy Racer will be able to put their 4th down. That was a ridiculous one-zap there from AZ.
And that's what I mean. He's such a streaky player. Had his problems on Overpass. This time up to 12 kills. 2 consolation frags just to top it off there. But a beautiful headshot making a statement. As if we're going to the pistol round. If his one taps are tuned in, then perhaps we'll see something special on this CT side. Remember, M&J, this is a CT-sided map, and North have just taken 11 T-sided rounds. If you're sat at home, don't clean your glasses. That is correct. They are just absolutely beasting this series. Galaxy Racer have taken 10 rounds in total across these 2 maps thus far, over the course of 3 halves of play, and they don't look any closer to winning a map here.
Indeed. Don't clean your glasses unless, of course, you're seeing any other numbers than 11-4. This is
yeah.
Dominant.
If you see 2 sticks and a cactus, you should clean your glasses.
Well, 11-4 once again. This is just an incredibly dominant half from North. And kicking things off in this second half. Here's the odds from our partners over at LootBet. You get 1p back. You get 1p back if you bet $1 on North. That's how confident they are that they're going to win. They've been fantastic so far this series, and I don't really see that slowing down at all. If they can convert this pistol round, they have a very good opportunity to put this one to bed. And on the CT side, with MSL, with that AWP in hand when it comes to the buys, I think there'll be a very, very daunting side to play against. But this round, it's looking like Galaxy Racer are going to head over towards B. Maybe not. They're starting to backtrack.
Already so much map control taken, and AZ might actually have this information. And following off from where he left off in the previous half with a nice headshot, North, they're starting to convert these pistols. This might be the beginning of the end for Galaxy Racer if they're unable to convert this 3 versus 5. MSL might actually give them an opportunity back into this one, but with the bomb dropped in the open, there's a USP retrieved. So maybe an opportunity, but Tabs, he's on 23 points of health. Just a body shot would finish him off here. And Galaxy Racer deciding to rummage elsewhere. And they don't have any P250s in hand. No long-range shenanigans. AZ absolutely holds all the cards here with the USPS. But he misses the first shot and decides to backtrack. They want to take the double swing instead.
Oh. Nice headshot coming through from Cajun B as well. And the issue is Galaxy Racer, they just have no map control. And North have all of it. A 4 versus 2. So many targets to fire up against. They're not landing anything so far. Just as I say it, Tabs finds himself a nice headshot, but it's instantly traded. It leaves it all down to RACER. He does find one, but he doesn't clear his corners. And Gade's going to punish him for it. North, but they're 12th down on the board. That's the second half pistol round. And now an opportunity, if they can take those follow-up rounds off of it, which they should be able to put themselves onto 14, which is very, very dangerous indeed.
Yeah, this series definitely looks over at this point. I guess this is not going to be the force buy for Galaxy Racer. Maybe just considering... I mean, the economy is so low in such an awful state. They might just want to get this one over and done with. Challenge Lecro over by the B bomb site. He's got the FAMAS in hand, and MSL wanting to close the distance with the MP9. These Glocks are tremendously bad at long range. There's just almost no way to connect with these early headshots, and MSL there doesn't actually prevent the bomb from going down, but AZ does just that. 13-4, and North, they've been on the home straight, M&J, for some time, but might be about to put together an even more convincing win than the 16-6 that we saw on Overpass.
Well, that might just be the case. To get there, though, they have to win this buy-up from Galaxy Racer. I quite like the fact that they went for that eco in the last. I questioned whether they would have the money, considering they had no bomb plants. But, of course, starting off in the half with that loss bonus that you get from losing the pistol round, it does give them an opportunity to have some AKs and some utility to work with here. You just have to make sure that they actually find the frags with it. So right now they start to walk over towards B. The bomb's been left behind though, so this kind of indicates that they're not going to commit to it early. Instead, they're just feeling around. They want to find some information, then they want to regroup and head towards a site. And they've got that info that AZ is in Pop Dog, of course. Not a whole lot more than that though.
Yeah, this information isn't really worth too much, considering you'll probably be putting somebody towards Pop Dog for the majority of your rounds on this North CT side, especially on a bonus like this, where you've got these MP9s wanting to close those distances. Of course, AZ is holding one, so wanting that fast running gun potential, all of that fire rate at short range as well. It can be harder to control those sprays, although we do see a couple of players approaching that mastery level with that specific SMG. Definitely the most used in Counter-Strike right now, overtaking, of course, the UMP back in its heyday. A couple of others that were thrown into the mix for a time. Just challenging these AKs, looking to trade back, but I don't know where the advantage is coming from for North here. They're actually being rinsed and ripped apart. This is going to be a 5th for Galaxy Racer.
It absolutely is. So a nice headshot from Lecro there, but he's not going to be able to find a whole lot more. And I think he just goes for this save now that he has this AK in hand. Do you know why that's called Pop Dog, Squid? Or do you want a fun...
No.
M&J Fat, right? Okay, so basically, the company that I think they worked on 1.6 as well, and they designed the original train, were called Pop Dog Studios. And they used to have, in the first iteration of train, they used to have a sign that had a little dog. It was their logo, and it said Pop Dog above where that bit is, where the ladder is. And that's why it's called Pop Dog. Obviously, it's been taken out now. It is.
Was that in your like research notes for this game?
No, I think I saw it in a 3 Clicks Philip video or something, but...
There we go.
Interesting stuff. Fun fact for everyone. I did wonder
that
why
is a fun fact. I'll give you that. That is a fun fact. Occasionally our facts aren't too fun.
Yeah, sometimes they suck, but I think that's a fun one.
(13-5). Still a long way back for Galaxy Racer in this map that does look very uncompetitive. And with MSL nailing that initial tag, Relax has had a really hard series. He hasn't been winning that AWP duel, and MSL has been besting him on every regard. I think that we have to play testament to just how good MSL have been just off the back of that, instead of slamming Relaxer. Sometimes making a couple of mistakes, but a couple of mistakes over the course of a series isn't really too bad. Let's see what this ragtag CT buy can do against the AKs. MSL has already temporarily bailed over to B, watching this smoke come down and through. It's a bit of a distraction thrown by Freddy Frog, as Galaxy Racer want to approach this A site. Of course, they've got a triple-pronged attack through main, our good old favorite Pop Dog Studios, and of course Ivy for Pleasant.
A little bit of a firepower deficit here for North, with Gating Cage and B on those MP9s. They've got a nice little crossfire setup though, so if anyone does come Ivy, I actually fancy their chances of finding those kills. Instead, it's looking like Galaxy Racer are heading over towards this B side of the map. There will be 2 CTs waiting for them. AZ on that fast rotation as well. And as soon as this utility is deployed, with 20 seconds left, the rotations will come through and MSL kicks it off with a collateral. What a time for him to hit it. And Galaxy Racer desperate for this bomb plant. They should be able to get it, and Desm finds himself a couple as well in the meantime. But Freddy, borrowed time, surely falls, and it leads it all down to Pleasant in this 1-on-3. He might be able to swing and deny the plant. Oh, it's a bit messy. He does find it, but the trade comes through, and North are able to put their 14th down on the board. That was such an important round for Galaxy Racer, and MSL once again denies it.
He really is the destroyer of Swedish dreams in this series. I don't think Galaxy Racer can proceed in this tournament, considering MSL seems to be hitting all of the shots, up to 19 frags. He didn't even see them. Fully blind hits the collat. Him and Lecro just really rinsing the Racers here in this specific series. You might just see back-to-back identical scorelines at this point. Galaxy Racer, what do they do on this T side? It almost feels like they're digging to the bottom of their strat book. North were beautifully set up to contend with that B take. Just MSL fast on the AWP. As you said, AZ had the quick rotate. North were bombarding that B bomb site before Galaxy Racer could even get that bomb down. And right here, the pistols have to chip through. There's the Molotov to slow them away too. And North, they are hitting the shots. And before this quick conversion comes in, all of the kills for North.
Well, these guys are absolutely showing why this core of the roster were one time one of the top teams in the world. They are playing absolutely incredibly. We're seeing numbers coming through from Lecro as well. This map, we didn't see all too much of him on Overpass. MSL firing in as well. He's been incredible this series, and you touched upon it before, that Relaxer, you can't put anything on him because he's been playing quite well. We did see a few mistakes from him over on Overpass, but here on Train, it's just down to a lack of opportunity time after time. And here, this could be the final round right now, as Galaxy Racer haven't got a lot to work with. Their opponents are on match point, and they're fighting for their 6th just to have an opportunity to try and pull this one back.
Yeah, it's looking hopeless. North playing a pretty perfect series here today, only conceding 11 rounds in this series. Let's see if these final 3 pistols can run amok and throw a spanner in the works. But considering how confident and just non-complacent North have been all day, just playing some great CS, putting Relaxer into a 1 versus 5. And this series is over. We found our 2nd semi-finalists, I think. Relaxer's Deagle trying to chip in with some consolation frags, but he's been blasted back to 10 HP, and Gade finishes him off. It's going to be the aforementioned